All right. So, I have never played this deck before. This is Amulet Titan. This is a list pulled straight off of MTG Goldfish. It's the one that 5-0'd on the on July 14th decklist dump. I will go ahead and post a description or a link in the description below on YouTube, and for Twitch people, I can go ahead and grab it for you now to the exact list that we're playing tonight. So I have never played, but I know the idea behind it. I know how to pilot it, but I've never actually piloted the deck. So we're gonna see how badly we flop around and screw up this amulet and how long it takes us to play this correctly. See if we can't possibly get a 3-2. This deck has always seemed fun. I've always wanted to try it out. It's a giant just land toolbox. And then you have a couple of things to help you get there, and you basically want to try to be casting this prime time as soon as possible. The end goal is to either win via Field of the Dead or Valakut, using either just having 7 different land names and then spamming zombie tokens, or getting out a Dryad and then multiple Valakut triggers, because everything is now all basic land types. As far as sideboard's concerned, this person was running a Singleton Mystical Dispute and Single Negate. That seems like enough additional counter magic. Aether Gusts for the Ponza matchup is my guess. Tireless Trekker as a way to gain things. Rex Sage as a way to stop Damping Sphere. Beast Within is just a good answer everything. Dismember as a creature answer. Force of Vigor as a secondary artifact enchantment removal. Emrakul as another counter magic or counter deck interaction, and then a second engineered in case we need it. So we're gonna run this into a league and see how badly I fail. We'll do play points. Throw those play points into the garbage, and let's have some fun with Amulet Titan. There we go. First match inbound. Okay, well, on the bright side, we don't have to pick if we want to be on the play or the draw. As much fun as this hand is, it seems too slow. So we're going to mulligan from the aspect of its tapped Teleria West into Simic Growth Chamber, bounce Teleria West, tap Growth Chamber, Tribe Scout. I guess Vasuba, bounce Growth Chamber. Yeah, this is just way too slow. No untapped land. Turn 1. Mulligan down to 5. This is a keep. As far as what we're putting back, it's probably Windswept and a Dryad. Hopefully we can get another land here. So we can go Forest into Tribe Scout into Radiant Fountain Explorer, Cavern into... Okay, Forgotten Caves as their lead in. This is Dredge. Against Dredge, what do we want? Bajuka Bog. We can't transmute this Teleria West, but recurring Bajuka Bog is going to be our out. They pitch one, but they hit a second and a third and a fourth. Wow. Lucky them. But no recurrence. Bajuka Bog off the top one time. Growth Chamber. So Radiant Fountain, gain 2. Explore. And we can go Growth Chamber. Bounce Radiant Fountain. Pass turn. Next turn, or on their instep, we can gain life with Radiant Fountain. Narcomoeba's milled over. That's great for them. I'm assuming this is an Ox here. Shriekhorn. Interesting. Because they can still Ox. So this into Ox, into have basically 0 cards left in library. Kill us. Only one Narcomoeba trigger? I mean, they're getting 3 prized amalgams back. So that's not terrible. Gain some life here to try to stall. Now just hit 6. Selesnya Sanctuary. So we get hit for 5, 8, 10, 16. That doesn't do what we want it to. Because this enters tapped. All of our blue sources enter the battlefield tapped. So we can't transmute. Meaning we have to basically just play this out as a blocker. But now we could tap for blue. Do that. Pick up this. Pick up the Radiant Fountain. And I can play one more land to gain some more life. We still can't transmute for this bog. Opponent's got 16 cards left in deck. 14 cards. Hits a Creeping Chill. We are definitely just gonna die here. I mean, this is just turn them all sideways, right? Block as much damage as possible while keeping our Dryad alive. You go down to 10. And then all of these will come back. They pick up 3. They can play a land and conflag for 5. Killing Dryad. Primetime doesn't even save us though. Like, yeah, we can play Primetime and get Bog and Field. Yep, conflag for 5. 1 there, 1 there. Killing the opponent saves us, get Valakut. That is true if they weren't killing our Dryad with this conflag. So we can't do anything. Yep. But yeah, then all of these Silvers motes come back. Also, we are not 4-1. That was with our Infect. I just noticed that I never reset that. Azuso will not do it there. We will concede. What do we have in the sideboard? A lot of this stuff's on 3. We could gust their spell. A lot of their spells are red. Yeah, the other Field of the Dead definitely comes in here. Trembling Vestige. We want to take out. A lot of their stuff is on 3, so E on 3 doesn't seem terrible. Dismember can take out a thing. Man. We just need to be faster. Definitely want to play. I mean, as seeing we can we don't have any way to have this Gruul Turf come in untapped, unfortunately. But that's fine. Arid Mesa, fetches and shocks. I'm presuming here. Yep. And there's the Shriekhorn. Interesting that they chose to do that during their main phase. I feel you should wait until the end of my main phase. Radiant Fountain gains some life. Pass the turn here. Next turn we can Dryad into Gruul Turf, bounce Radiant Fountain, replay Radiant Fountain as our additional land. And then we will have 4 mana. Or no, we will have... Yes, we will have 4 mana to castle into Primetime. Second Shriekhorn, very good for us. Looks like opponent just does not have any dredgers at the moment. Hmm. Wow. We will go forest here. Dryad. Castle? I guess at that point I should have done a Zusa. And I made it so I can't castle next turn because I'm an idiot. No, I can. I can float the mana. Okay, we're good. I can float the mana with Radiant Fountain. Bounce Radiant Fountain. So Ox is coming down. I guess they have Dredgers in hand at this point. They had 2 Dredge. They hit a Singleton Creeping Chill, which is great because that means that the amalgams don't come back until it's too late. Because the Silver Smoke comes back, but then the amalgams won't come back until our end step. And we're going to have a prime time. So let's float. Green, green, green. Gruel Turf. Bounce Radiant Fountain. Play Radiant Fountain. Gain the life. Prime time comes down. Prime time goes and gets... Okay. At that point, prime time would go and grab Bajuka Bog in field to make a zombie to block. Yeah. We would make a zombie to block or exile their yard so they wouldn't get those amalgams. And then we would go... I don't know. At that point, we'd just start going. Spinning the wheels, hoping to get there. Well, it'd be Bajuka Bog field, and then every turn get something to bounce the Bajuka Bog. So that way we would constantly be exiling their yard. And then, I guess... It might not even be that. It might actually be... Okay, so hand goes Shock In with Breeding Pool, Growth Chamber, Bounce Breeding Pool, Replay Breeding Pool. We're a land short. It's a land short from a turn 3 prime time. We run 30 lands. I have faith. We're on the draw. Okay, they mill over. Oh, that's not good. They hit a Dredger. So they have this Smiting Helix, which they can smite us or the Tribe Scout. I believe Ghoul just cares about them gaining life. So they smite the Tribe Scout, which is the smarter play, and then they get both of these back. Okay, Field of the Dead. This way we can EE on 3 next turn. Problem is we're taking... That's too slow. Wow. That's too slow. Because they do this, they draw... They can con flag for 5. They have 9 power on board. Wow. Okay. Azusa gives us a blocker. Well, but they have con flag, so no, it doesn't. So like we could Azusa play out. Play out some stuff, but it doesn't do us anything good. Because like we Azusa, because this enters untapped, tap those 3, play out Azusa, then we could go Growth Chamber, bounce something, replay that something. The next turn we have prime time, but we're dead on board. Okay. I would love to play first. Exactly. Pencil and paper draw engine. So we can keep this. It doesn't do anything. Until we get to the point where we can have lands enter untapped. Okay, Castle there's not bad. We can do that, and then Empath. Get a prime time. Pass the turn. We're a couple turns out from being able to do anything. But that doesn't mean a heck of a whole lot in this deck, because as soon as we start going off, we go off. Okay. So this is Bant control. They bounce the Tribe Scout. Makes sense, makes sense. Have that kill off their Teferi. And play out a Tribe Scout and play out this Teleria West and pass the turn. They get a Windswept Heath. Shoxodon, they now have 4 mana. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Karn's gonna go and grab. An ensnaring bridge. Okay. We need land off the top here. Specifically land that doesn't come into play tapped. Boo hiss, not second Summoner's Pact. Make it so Karn can't downtick again. Upticks with Karn, and then they can bridge. They have Burrow. Okay. Burrow's a card. They sacrifice it, puts the land into play. Now they have 2 mana. And plays out Skoos. Growth Chamber. That'll work, right? Because we can go green, Growth Chamber, and pick up, replay this, you, that, and for prime time. Use Primetime's ability. Go and grab at this point. What? Field and Bog? Always yield the field triggers. Begin combat, swing all at Karn. They can block 1 with Skoos. They choose to block the Azusa, which is fine. We don't have an amulet, and so Azusa effects are irrelevant. Now he could play out a bridge, so that way we can't prime time. Gets a Ghost Quarter. Then plays out bridge. Makes sense. Eats our Azusa. Sure. Cast Summoner's Pact. Go get Dryad. Do that. Play Dryad. Valakut trigger on them. Green, 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 6. Prime time number 2. Paths of the Dryad, that's fine. We'll get a forest. Say yes there. Get Vesuva. And growth chamber. That way we can transmute. Choose a land for Vesuva to copy. We'll choose Field of the Dead. Make some zombies. What are they targeting? Teleria West? Sure. Bounce. I guess bog at this point. Tap, play the bog. Bog them so they can't ghost quarter us again. Combat swing with everything. They block a zombie, take 3. Batter skulls, sure. You gain 4. I'm hitting you for... You lose opponent. I pay for my pact. We now go to combat. Okay, we want Emeralds. Mystical Dispute doesn't seem bad. Negate doesn't seem bad. EE seems pretty mediocre. They don't have much. We can bring in Tireless Tracker because this is a very, very grindy matchup. As far as what we can shave, it's probably these Explorers. And a pact? Summoner's Pact? Another field doesn't seem terrible. Shave on a Dryad. Nope. Even an inexperienced player can tell this hand's a mulligan. This hand, however, is a turn 1 Amulet of Vigor into Tribe Scout Boros Garrison. Or, hear me out, we're bottoming this Tribe Scout. So that way we have turn 2 Dryad into turn 3 Prime Time. That's our line here. Unless they have artifact removal. Amulet of Vigor past the turn. I don't think that they're going to be running too much artifact removal. They fetch. Arbiter. How dare you play an Arbiter? I'll be honest, I was not expecting the Arbiter. Does Azusa buy us anything fancy here? So it's this and a Garrison. We'll have Garrison bounce the forest. Garrison untaps. Float there. Then we go Dryad, snow covered. Amulet, pass. What we should have done is I put the triggers on the stack there wrong. If I had done the return first, I could have floated with the Garrison, and then they're just going to straight up Ghost Quarter us with an Arbiter out. Okay. And Path. Oh. That hurts. Well, on the bright side, any bounce land and we get to play prime time. Double primetime draws. Cannon. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Azusa, and then let me guess, they have the path? Bounce land. Because we just need to generate value off this Azusa, we just need a bounce land here. We'll take it, go down to 6. I apparently am just never gonna draw. And Archmage's Charm counter target spell? No. So they pay to search, they search. You get a breeding pool tapped. Okay. Then they Aether Gust. What's going on bottom? I need an out. I need a bounce land. I mean, that gives us a prime time. Maybe. See if we get this prime time down. Yep. I mean, we block 1, we take 2, we die. So they're not the grindy matchup I was thinking. They're some form of Bant Kinnan. Bit of creature removal doesn't seem bad. Shave on. Cut Emrakul, cut Tribe Scout? I don't know. So that hand just didn't do anything. This is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. All of our lands enter tapped. Put the bounce land back? No. Put Vesuva back. Lead on the Triome, pass the turn. Yeah, I'm not surprised that the Kinnan deck has dorks. Cavern's pretty good there. We will go ahead and bounce our Triome. Pass the turn. Believe Giant is what we want to name. Let me double check. Did I spell that correctly? I did not. Fun. Hey, got a Field of Dead. Giant. Yeah, I believe it's Giant. I was say that's what I always see people name with it. Yeah, it is. So we do this, make them pick. I mean, I'm still pretty sure it's pick off the Cavernous Souls. Unless they're a... Or they just have Ghost Quarter and Field of Ruin. Extremely rude opponent. We will play out this breeding pool. So that way, if they have counter magic, we have a mystical dispute. I wonder what Fierce Empath's gonna go and get. Hoping they try to play a blue spell. And now, do they have enough in the yard to Uro? Yep, if they have a green source, yep, they do. They have Hierarch out. So Uro comes alive. Nope, no basic island. This list doesn't have a basic island. I'm surprised by it. Uro. Have it all. Whoa, whoa. Ghost quartering themselves? Or Arbiter. Okay. Of course, what do we draw a turn too late? Let's cycle this Triome here. Okay, well, there's a second prime time. Which means we can do Sanctuary, bounce one of these forests. Next turn, we have uncounterable prime time. Not great since it can't search, but Exalted to make it 7. They gain 3. Plays a land from hand. We go ahead and block since Uro does not have trample. Dryad's interesting here. That's... we wouldn't... Dryad doesn't make enough mana. Because Dryad costs 3, we don't have a way to have a bounce land come in untapped. I play 2 lands, Dryad costs 3. What? That's a card. Yeah, next turn. Yeah. Yeah, next turn for sure. It's Dryad, pay for Arbiter, swing. What did he get? Got Teferi and Karn. So this is definitely Teferi bounce prime time. Not gonna block because that's just unfavorable trades. Yep. Now this dispute in hand is absolutely worthless. That bounces that, and then can Karn or second Arbiter. Oh yeah, because they have the hierarchy. Wow. Ignite the beacon. Like whatever opponent's on, they're having fun. And then knowledge pool. Oh, because that's a lock with Teferi. Yep. Would you look at that? Our blue source comes in way too late. We can play that out. It plays tapped. We can play that out. It's tapped. Exile those. And we have enough mana to do absolutely nothing with and get destroyed by knowledge pool. That's interesting. It's liquid metal. Do they have enough to liquid metal and knowledge pool? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Oh, I am. Well, it doesn't matter. There's Teferi. I can't play it instant speed. Yep. I had blue. Dryad. Everything's a basic land type. Teferi, however, I can't interact with the stack. So with that lock that they have in place with the Teferi and knowledge pool, whenever we try to cast a spell from our hand, we would exile it, and then we can cast a spell from the other cards exiled, but we can't do that because the card would be a cast trigger effect. It's the same effect as the Teferi Possibility Storm lock. It's just using knowledge pool instead. All right, there's that. Let's go ahead. We won the die roll. What? We'll take the play. Tapped Garenbrig into Ghost Quarter Explore. Try to draw. We need 2 green sources. I mean, we'll try this. It's a possibly turn 4 prime time. We could even lead off with a Windswept Heath, actually. They mulligan down to 5. Makes me think possibly Tron, which makes this Ghost Quarter real nice. Okay, we skip our draw. We lead off on Windswept Heath and pass the turn. Steam Vent shocks it in. Delver. Okay. We'll get the Triome, why not? Green 1, explore. Into field. Pass turn. Delver. Does Delver flip? Delver does not flip. Cool. Breeding pool, so Teamer Delver. Interesting combination. Do that. Fierce Empath. Go and get Primey Timey. Green. Play out a Tribe Scout. Pass the turn. Delver flips. They've got a Spell Pierce. We take 6, go to 12. We need a green source off the top here. Bolts the Tribe Scout. We need an untapped green source off the top here. That won't do it. Chukabog our opponent. Okay. We could cut them off of green here. Although there's nothing we can hit here, is there? So we need to Ghost Quarter their breeding pool. Hope they don't have basic island. They do have basic island. Unfortunate. Because we can pact, they can pierce, we could pay. Actually, we've got double pact, so pact, pierce it. Neat. We get Dryad. We play Dryad. We pass turn. Now we need untapped green source off the top here, so that way we don't die to what they've got going on. Because this is 6. If we get Valakut and land, we get 2 Valakut triggers. I think. If we hit the land. Oh wait, we're paying for pact. We lose. Because we have to tap all of these for green. Tap all of our lands to do this. And then that's exactly what we'd need. But we're dead on board. So, Teamer Delver, we don't know what the green's for. Engineered seems good. Gusts don't seem terrible. Dismembers don't seem terrible. Shave Unpacked, shave a Scout, shave Explore and a Dryad. Just play the numbers game. Sure. Bottoming. Delicate? Breeding pool, tribe scout, pass turn. Breeding pool, visions. Cool, no Delver. We have nothing else to do. Ghost score their breeding pool. They'll float a mana. Sounds good to me. Make them pick a color for now. Swing for 2. Okay. They crack their flooded strand, get steam vents tapped. So they don't seem to care too much about green. Or they have a flooded strand. Lands really aren't what we want at this point. You've got lots of them, though. Okay, they got a breeding pool off of that one. Visions. I would prefer to stop hitting lands. On the bright side, whatever we hit, we can cast. Opponent liked one of the cards that they saw there. Engineered explosives. Can be put on 2. I don't know if what we want it on. I guess 1 for Delvers. Well, they didn't like whatever card was on top enough. Flame Slash. 4 to Azusa. Sure. And plays a Delver. We'll gain 2. Go back up to 20 and pass the turn. Delver don't flip. They get in for 1. Show me your counter magic. I'm assuming they have counter magic. What? What? Uncounterable prime time? Okay. Delver don't flip. How would you play the Triumph at this point? Okay. Ashiok's a card. Oh, and then makes us mill 4. Milled over Primetime, Gust, second EE, and a Rot Farm. Okay. Doesn't swing, we don't pop. We pay for Summoner's Pact. Fun. Delver finally flips. It's a mana leak. We'll mill over 4. Tribe Scout Gust, Stronghold, and an Azusa. Opponent swings with just a Delver. Explore. Gain 2. Have another Aether Gust opponent. Snapcast or Aether Gust. Okay. Put on bottom. Because there's no point to put on top when there's an Ashiok in play. Opponent swings for 2. We'll put that one on top since we know that there's already one on bottom. That way we try to force the Ashiok. Yep. Hold over the Primetime, T-West, Vigor, and... Oh, Bajuka Bog. That's a good hit for them. And second snap into what? Visions? Then they make a cat. Swings for 4. We take it. Just going to continue to rip Primetimes off the top. They crack their fetch land. Mystic Sanctuaries. Aether Gust. Visions. Okay. Snap into Gust. Gust. Problem is, I already know that our last Primetime's on the bottom. So we have to put that on top. Visions make a cat. Swings for 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yep, we mill over those. Fun. We'll be at... We have one more draw effect here. And no, we don't. That is 15. Opponent's on something weird. I don't even know what you'd call that. Like, no idea. It's sweet. But man, that's weird. All right. We will try to see if we can't make half our money back. My guess is we'll end up going 0-4 because I'm a terrible pilot at this deck. But that's not to say that this deck is a bad deck. This deck is a very, very, very good deck and strong. I'm just misplaying the ever-living heck out of it. Probably not keeping I'm keeping hands I probably shouldn't be. I might be mulliganing hands that I should be keeping. And I'm just not used to the whole toolbox strategy behind it. It's fun, but man, is it hard to pilot. is not a deck you just want to instantly pick up and start running with. Like, I wouldn't say I have a lot of knowledge. I think I have enough knowledge behind the format of Modern to say that I know enough of what I'm doing that I can sort of kind of make any deck work. Not well, not like somebody who's piloted the deck for years or anything, but I know enough about the Modern format as a whole. So this is a mulligan from the aspect of this Garenberg into tap, and then we go try to slow. Just too slow. This, however, doesn't do anything. Keep bottom that and that. Because we can go Windswept Heath Pass. Word Foothills cracked. Are they going? Okay, is this burn? This is burn. We reveal. Oh, it's a Swiss spear. I said we reveal what? No, that's a Swiss spear, not a. Growth chamber, do that like so. So now we can go shotgun breeding pool, play out Dryad. Well, they can now Rift Bolt plus something else to kill a Dryad. Play out that additional land. Pass the turn. My guess is Rift Bolt targeting here. Something else to kill the Dryad. Then hit us for 3. Rift Bolt goes towards our face. Inspiring Vantage. I don't want to take as much damage from that Swiss Spear. Okay, so they skewer our Dryad. Oh no. Whatever will we do? Suspends another Rift Bolt. So we're a land short. That we could play out in Dryad. Valakut. Two, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 land. That comes into play untapped. Where's this Rift Bolt going? Our face? Rift Bolt's going towards our face. We go down to 9. Do they have triple burn spell? Lava spikes or face? You're absolutely crazy if you think I'm not blocking. They fetch red, white, helix. Aura Charm 4 to us. Okay, we go down to 2. They've got 2 in hand. Tapped land off the top. So we could... It's Azusa to block the Swift Spear. Hope that the Baron player has lands in hand left. I doubt it. Cool. You had a burn spell. All right. Versus burn. EE doesn't seem bad. They have lots of creatures on 1. Beast Within doesn't seem terrible. Rex Sage seems alright because it can destroy an enchantment, aka their thingy mabobber. Active negation seems bad. Just from the aspect of, oh, you're not getting to 5 mana to counter a spell. Tribe Scouts seem mediocre. It's an X1 that they can just kill if it's not doing anything. Bring in a Field of the Dead. Absolutely no idea. So gain life, bounce, gain life, play Dryad, play out another land. It's funny at how this hand's actually keepable against burn. There's the Swift Spear. Amulet. Play out the Amulet past the turn. Hope Amulet gets to live for a turn. Riftbolt entered exile. Riftbolt entered exile. Okay. We go down to 20. Oh, that's a fun card to hit. Enters the battlefield tapped. And do it like so. It untaps. We will add a green. Do that. Play out Dryad. Tap the and doesn't matter. Tap that for a red. Have this enter. Put triggers on stack like so. Turn Radiant Fountain. Play out second Dryad. Opponent. Play out Radiant Fountain and gain life. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could kill a Dryad with these Rift Bolts. Instead, going to face. Okay. They smacked our face around for a bit. And there's a Goblin Guide. Guide reveals a Bajuka Bog. That's a fun one. Ideally, I hope one of these two live. Skewers one. Cool, one does live. How awkward for opponent. So if we do this, let's go green, rot farm, triggers like so. Untap, tap for that. What do you mean? Only gonna prime time get Valakut. Valakut hit you for. Would I have enough to also slay a stronghold? Yes. Because the other two would enter untapped, because this is enough. Okay. And run it back. All right. Anne's got a Summoner's Pact, a Gruul Turf, and it's got 2 bounce lands, a Pact, and an Azusa. So, Field of the Dead, Growth Chamber, Bouncing Field of the Dead, Cavern Naming Giant, Azusa, Lost But Seeking, and then it's Turf, Explore, Turf. We don't have a way for them to enter untapped, so no. This hand does not do it. This hand, however, does. As far as what we're putting back, it's the Garrison. We don't have any great ramp here. I mean, it's still a Summoner's Pact early enough that maybe a Dryad for a blocker isn't terrible. That Shock Swift Spear gets in for 1. Yep. Forest Vigor. A Shocks and a Sacred Foundry, down to 15. Plays out his guide. Suspends a Rift Bolt, gets in for 3. Guide shows us a Crumbling Vestige. Interesting. Green, untap. Explore. Rat Farm. Do like so, bounce the Vestige. And play out a Fierce Empath. Go ahead and say yes. Just because, why not have a prime time in hand? Rift Bolt comes off suspension. I'm assuming this Rift Bolt's going towards our face. Might be going towards the empath. It's at our face. Arid Mesa gets cracked. Goes and grabs Mountain. Sure. Where? Destroying target artifact. Okay. So no super fun shenanigans next turn. Reveals Rex Sage. Okay. We'll block there. You go down to 11. Cast this Summoner's Pact. Go and grab Dryad. And play our land for the turn. Name Giant. Undo. Go like this. Dryad. Then we have one additional land. We can play a land. And pass the turn. We're at 11. They have 2 cards in hand. We're hoping it's not Tear. It's Pav. Feel pathing that creature is not what you want to be doing. Unless you have me dead on board. Bolt, I go down. Taking 5. Show me another bolt. That'll do it. Okay. 0-4. Let's go ahead and just give our opponent a good old concession. If we can find somebody quickly, if it takes longer than a minute, and then we are done for the night. But I think Amulet Titan is definitely a deck if you know what you're doing and you put in enough time to learn. This deck can be extremely powerful. I, however, have not put in the time to learn, and it shows. I'm sure there are multiple lines that I could have done differently that I didn't, and it cost us games. So apparently we're not going to find an opponent. Unfortunate. There's the minute timer. Nobody gets the free concession. We shall drop. But yeah. Okay, that's not what I wanted. But overall, Amulet's a fun deck. That was a very fun learning experience. There's lots of lines to try to take, and you definitely need a hand that has payoff, because we kept hands that didn't and we dirtled. So overall, Amulet's definitely a good deck. It's fun. There's lots of lines. I didn't do well with it, but I feel that's a lot more on user error side than it is on the deck. Overall, if you feel like it might be your cup of tea, pick it up, proxy it in paper, goldfish it quite a bit, learn the ins and outs of the deck, and then pick it up. It's not too expensive of a deck, but it's it's one that doesn't share a lot of cards. Let's put it that way. So if you're picking up Amulet Titan, you're picking up Amulet Titan. It's not like with, I don't know, say, well, no, Burn doesn't share any cards really. I guess a lot of decks now actually don't share cards, other than like Control Shells sharing the same 40 cards, and then you splash your third color or what you so want. But yeah. Anyway, that was a good, fun Modern League of Amulet Titan. We might try it again, try to learn this deck a bit more. Don't know.